Welcome back to the Phightins Final here on the Edge of Philly Sports tonight with your boy Matty B hosting again. It's not been very consistent that I've been back, but I'm back tonight, and of course I come back on a 4-2 loss. But you know what? Hey, I take them where I can get them. It's great to be back hosting the final tonight. I wish it was under better circumstances. 4-2 Phillies losers today at Citizens Bank Park in a game that featured a lot of familiarities, I guess. David Robertson returned, got his NLCS championship ring, and then for some odd reason, learned how to close games again. And he does it for the Mets as he was inserted in the eighth inning and pretty much did what he had to do for 2 innings to get the Phillies to ground out into back-to-back double plays in those innings to get the Phillies out of any kind of offensive threat and help the Mets to a 4-2 win. Starling Marte with the home run in the first inning kind of staked the Mets to that early 1-0 lead. The Phillies battled back. Nick Castellanos leading the charge with a home run today. But when you're dealing with Max Scherzer, who wasn't really, he was dominant. He always kind of is dominant, but the Phillies got to him and they were able to kind of keep him at bay. But once again, the thing that has befuddled this team all season long continues to raise its ugly head, and that is inconsistent offense. 1 for 8 today, the Phillies were with runners in scoring position. Now on the season, because we're going to go right to Matty B's stat sheet right off the bat, because I got to talk about this one. For the season right now, the Phillies are now 154 for 632 with runners in scoring position, a gaudy 243 batting average that the Phillies are sporting with runners in scoring position. And if the season were to end today and it was all over with, and you had to kind of go and dissect what went wrong with the 2023 Phillies, I think the first thing you would go to is the lack of inconsistency with the offense, and then that whole runners in scoring position inability to get runners in and score them consistently is one of the reasons why your Phillies are struggling or have struggled up to this point so far. But it's been a good June. But just again, another 1 for 8 today with runners in scoring position. Let's head to the game. Let's talk the scoring. Starling Marte, as mentioned, got the Mets off and running first in the first inning with a home run. Brandon Nimmo would then knock in Gilorn to make it 2-0 in the third Mets. But here comes Nicky Batts in the fourth, his home run to cut it to 2-1. And then Trey Turner would knock in Brandon Marsh in the fifth. And all of a sudden, we got ourselves a tie ball game. But the Phillies in their bullpen of their own Marte didn't quite work out. Alonso would fielder's choice in Brandon Nimmo to make it 3-2, and then Tommy Pham would knock in Marte in the sixth to give it 4-2, and that's it. The Phillies could not get anything else going offensively. The Phillies bullpen, with maybe the exception of Junior Marte, just really not they did their job, but I don't know why they keep throwing this guy out there. Honestly, don't know. But that is your final score, 4-2. Notable Philly offensive contributors, or I should say lack of contributors. There's my boy Kyle Schwarber leading the way, 0 for 4 at that leadoff spot. 3 more home runs. That average is now down to 182. It was up to 191 about a week ago, but now it's kind of plummeted. I guess the June hitting season was only about 2 weeks long for Mr. Schwarber as he kind of goes lulls himself to sleep today. Trey Turner 1 for 4 did have that RBI. Bryce Harper a ripe 0 for 3 tonight. Another walk and a strikeout, fresh off of his ejection from arguing balls and strikes last night. As he continues his struggles, JT Realmuto 1 over 3, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Bryson Stott did have a decent day offensively. I guess he's probably either him or Brandon Marsh will be my offensive Phillies of the game. Bryson was 2 for 4. He did have a strikeout. Brandon Marsh 2 for 4 with a run scored and a strikeout. And really, that's guy. I mean, the Phillies did bang out 9 hits. They weren't completely shut out. They got runners on base, but they could not get that big hit at any point of the game. They left 7 on, as I mentioned. They were 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position for the Mets offensively. As I want to kind of rag on the Phillies offense, Christopher Sanchez, 5 innings. He went 4 last time. He goes 5 this time. 5 hits, 3 runs. They were earned. He struck out 4, and he did give up that 1 home run. But all in all, another solid outing for a guy that's battling back from injury. We might have found our 5th starter. I don't know. I'm going to knock on wood here, but Potentially we got our fifth starter in Christopher Sanchez. It's way too early to say that, but all signs are pointing at least good in that aspect. Junior Marte, Matt Strom, Hoffman, and Dylan Covey still hanging around with the Phillies. Also pitched for the Phillies. Marte was the worst of the relievers today. He gave up 3 hits, a run. It was earned, and his ERA now balloons up to 6.62. For the Mets, Max Scherzer gets the win. Sanchez, by the way, got the loss. Scherzer won 6, gave up 7 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. He walked 1 and he struck out 8. Phillies on the day struck out 10 more times for the season. Matty B's stat sheet back in play here. The Phillies have now struck out 689 times as a team in 2023 as we get closer and closer to that halfway point of the season. And 4-2 is your final today. And the Phillies had an opportunity. There was a really solid win the other night or last night, but they had an opportunity to kind of continue to put some distance between them and the Mets, kind of battle their way back into this NL East race, as well as, just personally beat the Mets. I mean, we haven't been able to really take care of the Mets at all, but but not able to kind of do that today as they fall 4-2 in a game that a lot of people didn't have the Phillies even winning or even being competing in. And they did more than that today. They competed. They once again, though, the standard MO for 2023 just couldn't find the big hit. And once again, our big offensive bats, i.e. Schwarber and Harper, are nowhere to be found. And, here we go. But yeah, I'm going to get vilified for jumping on Bryce Harper this week. Rightfully so. Bryce Harper does not deserve to be in the lineup right now. He does not. He just Kyle Schwarber, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, though, we don't have anywhere else to look at right now because our bench is not the best. And yeah, but yeah, I'm going to get vilified for turning on Bryce Harper. Of course, I'm going to turn on Bryce Harper. He's not doing jack squat of nothing right now. And same thing with Kyle Schwarber, who hasn't done jack squat of nothing all season, except hit home runs or strike out. So forgive me for getting a little impatient, Philadelphia. But you know what? I'm not going to back off from that. Bryce Harper does not deserve to be playing every day. He doesn't. Show me where he does. Explain to me where he does. But Kyle Schwarber doesn't deserve to be playing every day either. So anyway, 4-2 is your final tonight. Let's take a look around Major League Baseball, shall we? On this Saturday evening in the bottom of the 8th, games that are currently happening right now or going on right now. In the bottom of the 8th, it is 2-0 Nationals over the Padres out in San Diego. In the top of the 5th, holy crap, the Angels are beating the Rockies 23-0. 3 touchdowns and a safety for the Los Angeles and Angels of Anaheim as they are up over the Colorado Rockies in the top of the 5th, 23-0. 9-1 Cubs over the Cardinals. Now we're going to go into games that are final. The Giants beat the Diamondbacks 7-6. The Orioles over the Mariners 6-4. In 10, Yankees over the Rangers 1-0. Blue Jays over the Athletics 7-3. The Braves over the Reds 7-6. The White Sox over the Red Sox 5-4. The Royals over the Rays 9-4. Guardians beat the Brewers 4-2. Marlins over the Pirates 4-3. Dodgers over the Astros 8-7. And the Tigers over the Twins 3-2. And now, if for those of you who are looking to maybe catch a nice Phillies game tomorrow, 1:35 is your start time tomorrow at the Bank as the Mets and Phillies will wrap up the series. Phillies will then head out on the road to Chicago to start a 3-game series on Tuesday. But tomorrow, Carlos Carrasco versus Zach Wheeler, a Philly versus a former Philly. They'll be getting the nods tomorrow. 1:35 start at the Bank for the finale. Phillies Mets, be there or be square. Let's take a look around now on the EOP side of things. This is your lineup for the week. We're pretty much through it. Tomorrow, you got some PM in the AM, the Phightins finals. Phightins final. I think it's Al tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, because we traded. I was supposed to be on Sunday, but I traded out with them for a player to be named later. So Al's going to take the final tomorrow, I believe. And then we'll wrap our broadcasting day up with all across all the time. That is your schedule for the rest of the week, and always be looking out for what's going down here on EOP, and also be looking what's going down on Philly Sports Trip. Their Pittsburgh trip is coming up on July 28th to the 31st of this year. But next week, as I mentioned, the Phillies are off to Chicago and Wrigley. That trip is also a Philly Sports Trip. So make sure if you're checking back, I think it is sold out, but head over to phillysportstrips.com for everything they have to offer. And while you're doing that, make sure you're checking out Sherry's Ticket Town, www.sherrystickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Great sports concerts and theater venue tickets. Save an additional 10% when you enter the promo code EOP10. And then while you're doing that, head on down to Dolan's. For those of you who probably do know, the I-95 disaster has been averted in Northeast Philly, and we can once again access the points southbound. So maybe I can get out now and head down to Delco and check out Dolan's. But if I don't, make sure you do. Quizzo, music, great times, memorabilia giveaways. You never know who's going to walk through that front door at Dolan's at 24 East Sellers in Ridley Park. And then if you have workman's comp, motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or criminal law questions, comments, or concerns, Dave Cherry is the man you need to talk with. Give him a call. So he can take care of you, and he'll do his best job for you. I love weed. Ellie Deli is the next Eric the Red Davis. Yeah, I don't no idea what he's talking about there. I know who Eric Davis is, but anyway, he must be loving some weed a lot tonight. But yeah, 4-2 Phillies losers today over the New York Mets. For tomorrow 1:35 at the bank. Phillies will do battle in the season finale or series finale as we get ever so close to that illustrious midway point in the MLB calendar. Phillies are now 76 games through, 39-37. They fall now to 14-7 in the month of June, but it's been a largely very, very good month of June. We went over some key stats on Matty B's stat sheet, stats that keep me up at night. You already know how I feel about the runners in scoring position. One last stat sheet. The Phillies did give up another home run today. They hit one, but they gave up one. Phillies pitching has now given up 81 home runs through 2023. And that is a number that's got to go down. Way too many numbers. And the Phillies obviously got to start hitting more. But that's okay. We got Kyle Schwarber at his 181 batting average leading the way. So we should be fine, right, folks? And we got Bryce Harper, who hasn't hit a home run in like 6 weeks. But yet everything is okay. Let's just keep rolling them out there because they're going to figure it out any day now. Probably they will. Probably they won't. I don't know. But I'm getting a little frustrated watching them two out there, especially. And they're not alone. Don't get me wrong. JT is kind of there too. But it's really uber frustrating watching those two. Kind of just go at it. So, whatever. But I guess that we have no other choice at this moment because there is no other bench. Who do we got on the bench? Josh Harrison. Yeah. Ain't working for me. I don't know. So we got to keep trudging through this. And once they do figure it out, I'm sure things will be even better, but who knows? Folks, let's go to Tune Me Up for the night. I appreciate you guys chiming in, being part of the Phightins final. It was great to be back. It's never cool when I'm not around. I've been real busy, but I was glad to be on tonight. But make sure you're checking us out after every Phillies game. If it ain't me, it's Mike Laro, Big Al, or Pat, the Gobbler from Ambler. One of us will be definitely here to take you through your Phillies post-game adventures and beyond. Until we talk again, folks, once again, it's a privilege. Go Phillies, and I'll be seeing you.